Dystopia warning, obviously. Wow. In the words of Emmeline Pankhurst, I incite this meeting to rebellion. Be militant each in your own way. Now, I would go on to say the bit about how I take responsibility for everything that you do, but I don't, because even thinking about Westminster burning down nightly is enough to get me a 10 stretch behind the door, isn't it? Because whilst they're making violent offenders wait years for trial and then letting them just get away with it, they love to expedite the jailing of activists and protesters, don't they? Because they don't like to just take the donations from Russia. No, they like to adopt their protest laws. Now, I've got something really important to tell you, which I'm going to slip in before you inevitably get distracted by some weird observational humour of a man pretending to be a cat or something. You could call this a May Day. No, I'm not talking about, Theresa May running through wheat fields with her knockers flopping about. I'm talking about a general election. Get registered to vote now. Get your voter ID now. Tell your friends and family to do the same, and your colleagues if you dare. Then you can start the process of de-radicalising them via the Ludovico technique from A Clockwork Orange. Do what you fucking have to. Then direct them here, where we'll tell you the best way that you can make your local Conservative cry in a sports centre at 3 a.m. on election night. Even if I'm wrong, even if this is all a big pile of balls, at least you'll be prepared for when it comes, and don't assume that you're not going to need voter ID for a postal vote either. They're doing absolutely everything they can to disenfranchise people that vote. Now, even if this is the Tories just setting us all up, at least you'll be ready for when it does come. And it's frankly not going to be long now. No. Everything is chaos, even the Conservatives aren't happy, and they're actually the worst people that have ever been birthed. I mean, of course it's crossed my mind that this is just a sick joke, and we all know that the Conservatives like them. I mean, I'm so angry about this that I can barely even formulate a sentence that's just not littered with the C word. Independent Parliamentary Standards Authority, yeah. AKA James Cleverly in a wig. There's a bunch of things I want to talk to you about today. Yeah. See, I've spent 4 years telling you precisely what this government's like. I've made videos, I've laid out the facts, and why have I done it? Because I was so disgusted and shocked at how biased our media is. I've always been politically engaged since I was a young'un, thanks to my nan. I've always voted Labour. Besides one instance of tactical voting years before I was a Labour member, when I was living in a constituency that had no hope of returning a Labour candidate. Tactical voting is going to be how we get them out. I don't need to tell you just how bad things are. You know that every time you try and go to the shop. But what I'm going to not stop reiterating to you is how you get them out. And that's via tactical voting. Because our first past the post voting system is set up in a way that is entirely undemocratic. Not all votes are equal. It's not a particularly sexy topic. And it's not something that I want to promote. I mean, look at the voter ID debacle, for goodness sake. This is why it's really important for young people especially to double check that their ID actually meets the requirements. Because whilst a young person's rail card won't be approved, an older person can just stroll into the polling centre with a crudely drawn sketch that their grandchild did of them and be waved through. Don't let these bastards deny you your say. And as for the people that are going, oh, well, I'm not really political, not only are you forfeiting any right to moan about what they do if they stay in, not bothering with voting also comes from a place of immense privilege. You might be financially okay. Millions aren't. You don't have to fight for your rights over and over again, perhaps, like women do, or the LGBT community do, or people of colour have to. To cast your vote for the people that are still fighting over and over and over again for their right to live. I never, ever, ever anticipated spending my time making videos like this about the government. Over the past 4 years, I've not just provided you with relentless, merciless roastings of Conservative MPs, but I've tried to provide you with the truth. And whilst I might have, made a little mistake here and there, misspoke on a rare occasion, when that's happened, I've pulled the video, because I'm not a fucking Tory. Unless you're a millionaire, they don't give a shit about you, mate, no. They hate you, actually. Yeah, you're a means to an end for them. Because you putting a cross in the box, especially as a working class person or a middle class person, for the Conservatives, is akin to greasing your own arse and bending over the barrel willingly. because they're just using your vote to springboard into the role of MP, which is for them just a route to second, third, fourth jobs that will make them multi-millionaires, shilling and lobbying for the worst people that exist. And the very definition of fascism is essentially the merging of corporations and the government. That conflation has never been more evident, and us lot, we've never suffered more as a consequence. So we get the next lot in, don't we? And then we continue to hold them accountable. But we can only have a voice and an influence over the incoming government if we show up collectively and we make a point and we use our vote as a protest. StopTheTories.vote doesn't end with the next government. We want press reform. We want voter reform. We want to make sure that it's us that are influencing the next government and not Murdoch. But you can only do that by taking a stand. And if you think people like reform are the answer, then you're insane. They're just a different set of posh con artists, public schoolboys that have influenced our politics in a shocking and disturbing way. And it's high time the people of this country stop letting themselves get pushed around by the Bullingdon Club. Not just getting pushed around, but conned. They are lying to you. So again, I'll repeat it. Register to vote. Get your voter ID. Check that you're still on the electoral roll. Sign up at StopTheTories.vote. Stand by for more instructions. We're going to need you to play a part in what we're going to be doing in the run-up to the election. And I'm a little bit excited about it.